Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. So like I've said before, the goal of this channel is to help you guys feel like you're a part of our lives with us being overseas and not being in the States. Like, we don't see our friends and family on a regular basis, nor do we talk to everybody on a regular basis. And so I try to make these videos so you know what's going on in our lives and you feel like you're growing with us and just getting to know us better on a daily basis, and hopefully answering some of your questions as time goes along. So the big thing I have for today is we found out today from the person that comes and gets our money. She's like the manager. She's not the landlord, but she's the one that comes around and collects the money each month. We found out from her that we might have to move. So our landlord is a German, but I think she's like married to a Filipino, and so anyways, it's an interesting situation. But she owns multiple houses and is in the process of selling the house that she lives in when she's here and not in Germany. She's in the process of selling that house, and she's decided that when she sells that house, that she likes the house that we live in best and wants to move in here. And so in order for her to move in here, that means we would have to move. So yeah, that's Merry Christmas, that's some great news to get the day after Christmas. And the hardest thing is, like, we don't know a timeline. We're constantly like trying to follow God's will and trying to do what He wants and asking Him, Lord, okay, what's your next step? What does life look like for us? What do you want us to do? How do things need to change or whatever? And so this would be a big change. We have now lived in this house for a year and a half, and we love it. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 decently sized bedrooms. It's got all the space we need. It's got storage, and we couldn't ask for a better price. And so finding a house that is this size with the 3 bedrooms, the 2, we call them CRs, but 2 restrooms, and at the price we're paying now, might be next to impossible. And yeah, there's just a lot of factors. And with being away from family, like, my dad has a truck, my dad has a hog trailer, that they could clean out. There's just different tools and things that they have that would make the moving process so much easier. But they're halfway around the world, so that has the prospect of moving again and possibly moving farther away from the school than we are now. There's just so many things that make the situation a bummer. The biggest one being all the unknowns of just, both Daniel and I, and this is a very American concept of, please just give me a timeline. Let me know what I'm dealing with so I can prepare myself and be ready and done. Here they don't do that. They don't, timelines and things, they're not time oriented, and so they don't think about them as much as we would. And so when she mentioned it to us, she's like, oh, don't worry about it. The lady has to sell this house first, and so we don't know exactly when things will happen, but in our minds, we're sitting there thinking, well, we can't have a week's notice, like, that's not gonna do us any good. Where would we go? We'd be homeless. And we have a fully furnished house. Like, we've paid for everything in this house. So moving all that, just all the transition and all that would take is just a lot. And we're pretty much guaranteed to never be as close to the school as we are now. And yeah, it could affect a lot of things. Hopefully it won't affect the situation with fostering the girls. And yeah, it was a lot to get the day after Christmas, and just the unknowns and everything. And both Daniel and I are, once we hear something, like, we think about it, and we think about it constantly, and it's hard for it not to become a stressor. And so there's some other things that we're thinking about and praying about, and just really trying to give it over to the Lord. I have a shirt that says, don't panic, pray, or it says something similar to that, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, maybe I should be wearing that shirt. So I'm constantly thinking about that. But yeah, it was a lot to hear the day after Christmas, and hopefully we'll figure things out. Hopefully the Lord will open doors for our family of 5. Hopefully there will be enough time. I don't know if it'll be a thing where we get to finish the school year here, in this house, or if we'll have to move, or there's so many unknowns. And so that's the main reason I wanted to get on here, and is to ask for prayer. Just please be on your knees, ask your friends and family to pray. We just have a lot of unknowns. Don't get me wrong, we have an awesome school community, and I know they'll be here for us and help us in any way that they possibly can. But it's still hard. It's not an easy situation or easy thing to deal with. And so yeah, we just ask that you would be in prayer for that. If we need to move, pray that the Lord would open up a house that would be close by, and that would be able to move into. Pray that the Lord would give us answers for the things I can't share about right now. Just different things that we're thinking about and thinking through, and just for wisdom and a peace of mind, and rest this Christmas break. Yeah, and that we would still just have our hearts and minds and eyes focused on Him, because He'll get us through this. And yeah, we just trust in Him day after day, and I know He'll provide. So thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for being there with us. We greatly appreciate it, and we couldn't do any of this without you. So thank you so much. God bless. Merry Christmas.